I'm Jeff Stelling. Ali McCoist is with us live from Glasgow. The weekend starting with a night to forget for West Ham as they were thumped 5-1 at home to Chelsea. Under pressure manager Graham Potter spoke after the match.
No, as I said, it's a tough evening for us, and I feel for the supporters. They want more, and we let them down today. We let them down because the goals we gave away were too cheap. So there's nothing I can say that's going to make that feeling any better at the moment. They'll be hurting, and it's painful. So it's just a case of we need to do better, and we need to work harder.
Difficult times for West Ham fans. Difficult time for Graham Potter as well. And I look at some of the recruitment over the years, the lack of recruitment here. I mean, if you looked at Friday night, Coisty, the goalkeeper had an absolute shocker. They are defensively awful, conceding 8-2. They've got no legs in midfield. They've got a desperately weak bench. He's almost being hung out to dry, isn't he? Whatever you think of him, there has been no money pumped in whatsoever, and seemingly they haven't got any money.
No, I mean, it's really concerning. I mean, they take the lead, they score a great goal back at that, and then defensively they're just all over the place. I mean, and probably one of the better defenders, Wan-Bissaka, is just completely switching off at the back post and things like that. And you get things like that. You go on a run, Jeff, you know what it's like, and before you know it, you're on a spiral. But you're right, I look at the squad, and Ward-Prowse is a good football player, so is Souček. But they do have a lack of pace in the middle of the park, mate, as well. They've got Bowen up front, who's capable of scoring goals and winning games, but he can't do it all himself. I'm a little bit worried for West Ham, to be brutally honest with you, Jeff. I really am, mate.
Yeah, and there've been some terrible transfer dealings over the years. No question of that. And it seems like they have to sell to buy, but they've got virtually no sellable assets, have they? Paqueta,
they've sold them. They've sold them, really, haven't they?
Yeah. Paqueta and forgive me, West Ham fans, your other sellable asset is Jared Bowen. I know he's under contract till 2030.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But it's an impossible situation for the manager and the fans.
Yeah, and you look at, you mentioned, players of quality, Kudus. Again, I thought he had another great game at the weekend. That's another month's away. So it's really, really worrying, mate. Really worrying for Tottenham. I beg your pardon, for West Ham. You look at it, and I'm just having a quick look at their bench. What did they have in their bench? Callum Wilson's obviously, you got to keep him fit. Callum, I'm not sure. I think Callum Wilson would score goals, but I'm not sure he's going to score enough goals in that team. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing come flying out in the bench. I've got to say to you, Jeff, I'd be a little bit concerned if I was a West Ham supporter, mate. I really would.
Yeah, I think very concerned. I think most of them are. Right, let's focus on things at the Emirates. Sam Ellard is back with us. Hi, Sam.
Hi, guys. The Arsenal 5, Leeds 0. So a comfortable victory for Arsenal on Saturday against the newly promoted side. But lots of different and interesting talking points from the game. Before the game, there was the official announcement Eberechi Eze is an Arsenal player. There was a great announcement video as well, which featured Arsenal legend Ian Wright, who knows a thing or two about playing for both Crystal Palace and Arsenal. Eze was at the Emirates, got a really nice reception. 5 goals for Arsenal, 2 from set pieces, and also 2 goals as well for the new centre-forward, Victor Gyökeres. His first goals for the club. There was an injury scare for Arsenal with Saka and Odegaard going off the pitch. But reports today say that Arsenal were giving a lift last night when scans indicated Saka and Odegaard may not have sustained long-term injuries, which is good news for Arsenal. And then also as well, perhaps the icing on the cake on Saturday was the debut of Max Dowman at 15 years of age, coming off the bench, playing in the Premier League for the first time. Just on that, Ali, I mean, I'm sure you remember your debut, but 15 years of age. I mean, we've heard so much about this boy, so many people connected with the club.
Brilliant.
Talk about him so highly, but something about that number, 15 years of age, it almost doesn't sound real, does it?
The first person I heard actually talking about the lad was Jamie Redknapp. Actually, I think one of the podcasts, Jamie was singing his praises when he was 14, I think it was, and said he had an incredible future. But you're right. and Jeff and I speak about it, Sam, on a regular basis, right? There is nothing better as a football fan as seeing one of your kids coming into the team, breaking into the team and playing. There's just some magic about it. And the kid come on, played on the right-hand side, and he certainly doesn't lack in confidence, and he's clearly got a very, very bright future ahead of him. But Arsenal himself, everything in the garden was rosy, apart from the concerns about the injuries. 5 goals, clean sheet. Your centre forwards off and running with a couple of goals. But the best news that they'll receive this Monday morning will be if those scans on Saka and Odegaard aren't too serious. That's the best news they can receive.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the future as well. It wasn't just Dowman. I mean, they ended the game with Dowman 15, 2 18-year-olds and a 21-year-old on the pitch. So that's absolutely brilliant as far as the future is concerned. I don't think we should get too carried away, though, about the fact that they've, put Leeds to bed 5-0. The bigger test, of course, much, much bigger test will come next weekend when they're away at Anfield.
Doesn't come much tougher than that, does it? Just on Victor Gyökeres, I mean, he took a little bit of criticism last week, didn't he, in the game against Man United? I love, by the way, did you see his celebration into the camera where he combed his hair over into the camera because he got a bit of stick last weekend for having more touches of his hair than he did shots on target.
Very good.
So I love the fact though that he knew that people were taking the mick out of him.
Yeah,
so he must have been checking social media after the game.
I don't mind that either.
He shows it for the personality.
Exactly.
Correct.
I like that. But
I felt for him a little bit, guys. I felt for him a little bit last week because as good as Arsenal were defensively, and they still gave it a couple of chances defensively, but I thought they were kind of poorer in forward areas. Arsenal, having had that brilliant result at Old Trafford, you could argue we're nitpicking a little bit, but I just felt he was a little bit isolated. In the period he was on the pitch, I always felt this was the perfect game for him at the weekend to get himself off and running, and certainly he's done that.
Yeah, and the nice bit in the papers as well here, Ellard felt like he was on trial at Arsenal for 4 years, trying to convince them to sign him every time he played there. Some nice quotes, Jeff, about how every time he went back to the Emirates, playing for Crystal Palace, he sort of imagined where he used to sit as a young kid, going to watch the games with his brothers, and almost looked at it as a trial that I want to obviously win, but I want to make sure that, I impress Arsenal, where obviously he supported as a young boy. Then fast forward a few years, he's back there walking out to a standing ovation, and he's a lovely, lovely lad, isn't he? You couldn't help but be happy for him.
Yeah, I bet every Tottenham fan feels that.
Apart from Spurs fans, yeah, maybe that, yeah.
He's a wonderful footballer. He comes over absolutely brilliantly, and he is going to be a big player for Arsenal this season, in my opinion. I think he's got the X factor. He's just something different about him.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I can't believe the decision he made to play on as normal at Crystal Palace when there's other teams interested in him. That'll never catch on. That carry on. That'll never catch.
Don't tell Isak about that. Also, Ali, I'm not sure if you can see Jeff. We talk about sort of Gyökeres making sure his hair was in perfect place for Man United away. I tell you what, Jeff, the way your hair's combed over this morning,
that man's always immaculate.
I'm surprised you have. How many flicks of the hair are we going to see during the breakfast show this morning? There's one. There we go, Jeff. Good man.
Yeah. Just one or two.
Looking fresh,
the
Jeff.
man's immaculate. You got off his back, you.
No, I'm saying it. It looks immaculate.
Hey, just very briefly, boys. I mean, Arsenal away to Liverpool, 3rd game of the season. Is it just me?
Too early.
Or is it too soon? It's like Christmas in August.
It feels like the second game should be 3rd to 4th game towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And the first time they play should absolutely be in December. Too early, Ali. Who does the fixtures?
We've not even spoken about tonight. Never mind anything else. There's some great games, man. Some of the football we've got is just fantastic. Bring it on, I say.
El Isakiko tonight? That doesn't really work, does it, Jeff?
Thank you, Sam. There's the door.
Okay.
Brilliant. Thanks, mate.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.